Hey everyone, this is Miss Spencer. I hope you all are doing well and staying safe. I'm going to be walking us through our first lesson. If you have any questions, please have your parents reach out to Miss Wilson, Maisie, or myself through through Class Dojo. Today's objective is students will be able to use a place value chart to compare the value of digits within a number. We'll be doing that by watching the video and answering questions that pop up, doing an activities on Google Slides, and completing a problem set on Google Forms. This video will have questions that pop up, and we're able as teachers to see your responses. You can rewatch any portion of this video, but you can't skip ahead. Let's get started. We're going to start by filling out a place value chart. We can see the decimal point here, so we're going to start to the left of the decimal point. So to the left of the decimal point is always the ones place. To the left of the ones place is always the tens place, then the hundreds place, and the thousands place. Now let's go to the right of the decimal point. Always to the right of the decimal point is the tens place, then the hundreds place, and then the thousands place. We're going to start comparing these place values. This represents 1, 1, and this is a unit cube. So if this right now is representing 1, 1, and we want to get to tens, we know that we need 10 ones to make 1 10. That means since we need 10 ones to make 1 10, that the tens place is 10 times greater than the ones place. Similarly, we need 10 tens in order to make 100. So the hundreds place is 10 times greater than the tens place. We can continue this pattern and realize that we need 10 hundreds to make 1,000. So the thousands place is 10 times greater than the hundreds place. We also need 10 tenths to make 1 1. Think about when we're adding and subtract or adding decimals. If we have 8 tenths, 9 tenths, 10 tenths, we need to carry that 1 to the ones place because 10 tenths is the same as 1 1. So the ones place is 10 times greater than the tenths place. We can continue this pattern and see that the tenths place is 10 times greater than the hundredths place, and the hundredths place is 10 times greater than the thousands place. We're going to continue this going the other way, comparing smaller place values. And I'm sorry, this screencastify recorder is going to be blocking part of it. But here, we know that 10 divided by 10 equals 1. So the ones place is 10 times less than the tens place. Another way to say dividing by 10 is by multiplying by 1/10. So the ones place is 1/10 as large as the tens place. And I'm sorry it's covered. We'll be able to show you in just a sec. Here, the tenths place, oh, I'm sorry, let me explain why. Sorry. So if we have 1 1 and that and 10 10, I'm sorry, 1 10, we know that 1 1 is 1/10 the amount of 1/10 because we need 10 ones to make 1/10. So having that one small unit cube is 1/10 of what it is to make 1/10 rectangle. So the ones place is 1/10 as large as the tens place. Similarly, the tens place is 1/10 as large as the ones place. The hundreds place is 1/10 as large as the tens place. And the thousands place is 1/10 as large as the hundreds place. Here, the tens place is 1/10 as large as the hundreds place. And the hundreds place is 1/10 as large as the thousands place. Let's use this information to compare numbers. We're going to fill in the blank here. 10 is blank times larger than 1. Let's start by putting these numbers into the place value chart. We're going to put 10 into our place value chart by putting the 1 in the tens place and 0 in the ones place. And the 1 in the number 1 is going into the ones place. What I like to do is pick one digit to compare. Let's compare the 1. So here, the 1 is in the tens place. We're comparing that to the 1 in the ones place. To get from the ones place to the tens place, we need to move one place to the left, which is saying that the tens place is 10 times larger than the ones place. So the 1 in the tens place is 10 times larger than the 1 in the ones place, which means 10 is 10 times greater than 1. We can go the other way too and compare 1 to figure out how it compares to 10. So once again, I'm going to be choosing the 1. We see that the 1 is in the ones place, and then the 1 in 10 is in the tens place. So we want to see how the 1 compares to the 10. We're going to be going the other way, one place value to the right, which we know is dividing by 10 or multiplying by 1/10. So the 1 in the ones place is 1/10 as large as the 1 in the tens place. 1 is 1/10 as large as 10. Let's try doing the same with another one. Here we have 25 compared to 2 and 5/10. Let's start by putting these in their place value chart. 25 goes in our place value chart by placing the 2 in the tens place and the 5 in the ones place. 2 and 5/10 goes by putting 2 in the ones place and 5 in the tens place. Let's compare the two. So here in 25, the 2 is in the tens place. We're going to be comparing that to the 2 in the ones place. So that's one place value to the left, which means that it is 10 times greater. The 2 in the tens place is 10 times greater than the 2 in the ones place, which means that 25 is 10 times larger than 2 and 5/10. Here, oh, I want to erase the slide. All right, so now we're going to be comparing 2 and 5/10 to 25. Here, the color back on. See, Elise watch. So here we have 2 and 5/10, so the 2 is in the ones place, compared to that 2 in the tens place. So we're going one place value to the right, which is the same, which is the ones place is 1/10 as large as the tens place. So 2 in the ones place is 1/10 as large as the 2 in the tens place. So 2 and 5/10 is 1/10 as large as 25. Here we have 25 and 6/10 compared to 0 and 256 thousandths. Let's see, we can use the 2 again. So the 2 in the tens place, change colors. The 2 in the tens place, and we're comparing that to the 2 in the tens place. Ooh, this time we're moving 2 places to the left. So we have 1 place to the left, which is multiplying by 10, because the ones place is 10 times greater than the tens place. We're going a second place to the left, which is multiplying by 10 again. So since we had to move 2 places to the left, we're going to multiply these two numbers, 10 times 10, which we know is 100. So the 2 in the tens place is 100 times greater than the 2 in the tens place, which means that 25 and 6/10 is 100 times larger than 0 and 256 thousandths. Let's clear this and go the other way. We have 0 and 256 thousandths, and comparing that to 25 and 6/10. So here, the 2 is in the tens place, compared to the 2 in the tens place. We're going one place value to the right, which is multiplying by 1/10, because the ones place is 1/10 as large as the tens place. And now we're going to go a second place value to the right, multiplying by 1/10 again. We're going to multiply 1/10 by 1/10, which you know is 100th. So the 2 in the tens place is worth 100th of the value of the 2 in the tens place, which means 0 and 256 thousandths is 1/100th as large as 25 and 6/10. How does the value of the 5 in 45 and 23 hundredths compare to the value of the 5 in 26 and 58 hundredths? So right now we're going to be comparing the 5s. So let's start by plotting both numbers in our place value chart. And now I'm going to change the color of our 5 because that's what we're comparing. We're comparing the ones place to the tens place. The ones place is larger, so we know our answer is going to be a whole number. And we can see that we're going one place value to the left, which is multiplying by 10. The ones place is 10 times greater than the tens place. So the 5 in 45 and 23 hundredths is 10 times larger than the 5 in 26 and 58 hundredths. Let's try another similar one. How does the value of the 2 in 32 and 14 hundredths compare to the value of the 2 in 176 and 52 hundredths? Let's start by placing these numbers into our place value chart. We know that we're going to be comparing the two, so I'm going to change that color. We're comparing the ones place to the hundredths place. The ones place is larger, so we know our answer is going to be a whole number. So here, we're going over 1, 2 places to the left. Each time we go one place value to the left, we're multiplying by 10. So 10 times 10 is 100. The 2 in the ones place is 100 times greater than the 2 in the hundredths place. So the 2, oh, yep, there we go. All right, last one like these. How does the value of the 8 in 147 and 82 hundredths compare to the value of the 8 in 38 and 56 hundredths? We're going to start by placing these numbers in our place value chart, changing the color of the 8 so that we can focus on that. We're comparing the 8 in the tenths to the 8 in the ones. The tenth is smaller, so we know that our answer is going to be a fraction, we're going one place value to the right, which is multiplying by 1/10. So the 8 in the tenths place is 1/10 the value of the 8 in the ones place. Last two questions. In which number does the digit 1 have a value that is 10 times greater than the value of the 1 in 54 and 1600ths? So I know we're going to be comparing the value of the 1. So I see in our starting number 54 and 1600ths, our 1 is in the tenths place. 10 times larger than a 1 in the tenths place is a 1 in the ones place. So I'm going to be looking for a number below that has a 1 in the ones place. A here, the 1 is in the tenths place. Well, that's what we have in our starting number, so I know that's not it. In B, the 1 is in the hundredths place. But we already said we want our 1 to be in the ones place, so we know B is not it. Here, 314 and 6/10, the 1 is in the tens place. Oh, close, but we want it in the ones place. Finally, with D, 21 and 4500ths, the 1 is in the ones places to the left of the decimal point. So our answer is going to be D. Last problem. In which number does the digit 3 have a value that is 1/10 greater than the value of the 3 in 24 and 38/10? So I see that we're comparing the 3. I see the 3 is in the tenths place. 1/10 of the tenths place is the hundredths place. So I know that I'm looking for a number that has a 3 in the hundredths place. Starting with A, I'm going to underline the 3. I see that 3 is in the tenths place, but we already said we want it in the hundredths place. In B, the 3 is in the ones place. That's not the hundredths place. In C, the 3 is in the hundredths place. So our answer might be C, but let's just double check with D. We see the 3, and I'm sorry, it's cut off here. The 3 is right here. And it's not letting me write. Okay, the 3 is right here. So that's in the thousands place, which is not the hundredths place. So we know our answer is C, 15 and 638 thousandths.